When you gonna stop this foolishness? When you gonna stop? How long can you keep faux locks in before they become real locks? The one thing that I do not like about lashes is that they be making your eyes look heavy. You know what I'm saying? You know, I've got a prophetic word for you. One day in the near future, you mark my words, I'm gonna have some edge control for these videos. Hey y'all, welcome back to the Walk Live. You guys, what's up? I'm Sakima and I post every Tuesday. You guys hit that notification bell so you do not miss an upload. And what do I post on this channel? I post things that are just nuggets that I've received throughout the years that God has given me. And these nuggets have helped me chip away at some of the barriers that have been in my way. And my hope is that it helps you as well. So listen, for all of you who've been rocking with me since day one, you know I love you so much. I appreciate you so much. And for all of you who are new, thank you for stopping by. I hope you like what you see and what you hear. Now let's get into the content. So today I was inspired to talk about the importance of community and people. Like, it's just been a recurring thing that God has been talking to me about over the past few weeks is how much we need people. I'm a person that has always been like one of those latchkey kids and one of those people who is just like to myself. I don't return calls well. I don't answer calls well. I don't know. Like in certain situations, I can be that person that like we can have that dialogue. We can talk. We can go back and forth. We can like have this good conversation. You'll be encouraged. Iron sharpens iron throughout the conversation, but sometimes I'm like a hermit, like, you know. So, but God has been working with me lately, just showing me how important it is to have people around you, community around you, because you do reach the end of yourself. You do reach a point where you just are like, oh, like you're stuck. And it was designed like that on purpose. I was talking to my son the other day. Do you realize how the world was created in a way where we have to help one another? We have to serve one another. Even when we feel like we're serving ourselves, we're serving someone else. Like it was set up like that. So we were born with needs. Everyone has a need. And there are some needs that we can handle on our own, but there are some needs that we have to outsource. We have to ask someone else. We have to get help for it. And I just thought that was so interesting. Like even when you work a job, yeah, you're trying to feed your family, but you are also helping to build someone's dream. You're working at someone's company. And if you're not working at someone's company, you're an entrepreneur, you're working for yourself, but you're providing a service, which is still serving someone. You're providing a service or a product for someone that is needed. And so in trying to gain that income yourself, you are serving somebody. It's as if the idea was that we serve one another. You so smart, Lord. So I just thought that was so interesting. And that's exactly the idea. The idea was the communication. The idea was to serve one another, was to be in fellowship, was to come together. We need each other. We need each other. And God means it to be that way. Otherwise, we could have just all been placed on our own separate planet. Or we could have all been placed here and just be fully self-sufficient, don't need nothing and nobody, you know. But we're all placed here with needs, which means we have to go elsewhere and get help, you know. So it's clear that God wanted us to help each other, fellowship with each other. And he's just been working with me lately about how important it is to have that community. I've been reading in Samuel, and if y'all have been following me, y'all know I've been in Samuel. So Jonathan was Saul's son, King Saul, not Saul, the one that used to be, well, not Saul, the one that changed to Paul later. it's Saul, King Saul. There's two different Sauls. I know I'm learning stuff about this word, right? Okay. So not the Saul, Paul Saul, but King Saul. So you know who David is. David slayed Goliath, right? But in the time that all that happened, Saul was the king, right? King of Israel, and David comes on the scene and slays this giant, and all of a sudden David is popular, but he's not the king. But everybody's like singing his praises, like, okay, David, okay, and all the while King Saul is over there like, David is like, I'm not trying to get all the fame and nothing like that. I'm just trying to, I'm just trying to do my thing. I'm just trying to help where I can help, just serve where I can serve, But all the while, Saul is like, bro, for real? Seriously? And so he just develops this really like this hatred towards David. Um, Saul does some stuff and he messes up, and the Lord moves on to David and has his sights set on David, like he wants David to be king next. So he sends his servant Samuel to go and anoint David while Saul is still king. That's a shame when somebody else get anointed for your position while you still in it. But that's a whole other that's another video. But anyway, so he had Samuel go and anoint David. So, but still, David is not like he is not haughty. He is not conceited. He is very humble with this, and he goes for it and just continues to serve. He even begins to serve King Saul. Like King Saul had an evil spirit come upon him, and whenever that spirit would come upon him, David would play his harp and all that, and it would make the evil spirit go away. But all the time when David would be doing that for him, King Saul would be trying to kill him. Like he'd be throwing darts at him and stuff. Like, why? Really? He trying to help you out. But anyway, so that is what was happening. So long story short, Saul, like throughout all these chapters, is still trying to kill David. David is like fleeing. He is running at this point. Like I'm trying. Like he's not wanting them. He don't want them problems. He don't want them. And he also respects him because he feels like he's the anointed of God. He's king. He's the one that God put in place in that position. He really respects him. But Saul is not trying to hear that. Saul is like against like it doesn't matter what he faces. He's going out. He's trying to kill him. He's trying to kill David. So, but earlier on in the story, in the passage, Jonathan, who is King Saul's son, takes a liking to David, and they grow this beautiful bond. They love each other, they are there for each other. Jonathan often helps David get out of situations and flee from his father. And you would think, like, that's your dad. Like, I know you on your dad's side. No. Jonathan loved David. He loved David, and that was his friend. And yes, they were like this. So, but I thought it was interesting because, you know, the loyalty was not it didn't lie with his father. It lied with David. Obviously he saw something in David. Obviously there was something that God placed on his heart for David, and he became his advocate. He became the one that helped him throughout things. And we just need people. We can't always, I know some of us are introverts and we are in our box and in our shell, but we have to put ourselves around people because there is something there that we need to get from the other person. And sometimes it's not always a tangible thing. Sometimes it's something emotional. Sometimes it's something spiritual. God is doing something through the people that he places in your life. He is giving you things from them and through them, but you can't get anything if you're not going to put yourself around people sometimes. And it's the most uncomfortable thing sometimes, but we got to do this because there is something that God has for us in the people that he places in our lives. And I wrote down that God knows who to place in your life to bring his will to pass and to help you in the areas that you cannot help yourself. I know that. I know that firsthand. Today I was in a meeting and it was like entrepreneurial meeting, and I was talking to these ladies, and if you saw us on the street, you'd be like, we have nothing in common. But God knows exactly what to say and what to do and who to put in my life. He knows me better than anyone. And so I have gotten so much from these ladies. Love them so, 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 so much. And, there were areas where I was really stuck on some things and trying to figure out what I should do here, what I should do here. They gave me an entirely different perspective. They made me feel empowered again to go forward in this journey. And I'm just like, man, what if I had just stopped? Because at the beginning of this video, of not the video, of the Zoom that I was on with them, I thought about dropping out of the call because they were talking about some things at first, and I was like, I'm not even in that place. Y'all are in a totally different place, and I think this call is probably not going to benefit me. But then in the back of my mind, it was like, girl, stop. You know this is going to benefit you. You know that right now you're pushing past something because God does have something for you. You know it's a struggle because the enemy knows that you're about to get something on here. So don't even play like, don't even trip. Stay on here and see what God does. So I did. And when I tell you I walked away with something that I could not have even thought to ask for, it was amazing. So number one, be that person that God can use to speak to others through. Don't be all up in, just doing crazy stuff and just being all ratchet and, cussing people out and always on 10, always trying to get attention, always trying to show yourself and all that. Basically clouding the place up so that God can't do anything. He can't get in there to do anything through you. Be the person that can be used as a wonderful influence, as a vessel, And then secondly, don't be afraid to go around people. Don't be afraid to be in a room where you're not the smartest. And I know we hear this a lot, especially if you're a person that is trying to, be an entrepreneur. Like you hear that a lot. Like get in the room with people where you're not the smartest person. But, that's easier said than done. And it's something that is not really reality until you experience being in a room where you do benefit from ladies. Like I know a lot of times our self-esteem, when we're trying to feed our self-esteem, it helps us to be around people that need our help. It makes us feel, it feeds us. It makes us feel worthwhile, significant, substantial. But there is something also in not being the Don Juan in the room. You're the one that can soak in things too. You're the one that needs things too. God wants to give you things too. So if you can not be afraid, because I know we're working on that self-esteem part, but if you cannot be afraid to go into places where it may not be you that's the center. It may not be you that's coming around people that's like, yes, darling, let me give my expertise. Like, I know about this topic. I know about this subject. If you can get yourself in a place where you don't have to be that, and you can glean from other people. Oh, and a little secret, it's going to take some vulnerability, because had I not shared the things that I was struggling with, I wouldn't have received that. So I know some of you were thinking, I'm going to get to go into this room and I'm going to get to just like be quiet. I mean, she's saying that. She's saying go into a room and glean from these people. I can do that. I can sit in the back. No, you're also going to have to be vulnerable, because in order to receive that, we've got to open our palms. We've got to let go of what it is that we're holding so tight to. We've got to, that's the only way we can receive. And sometimes we hide so much, we close so much, and we try to think of so many things. We internalize so many things, and we're just trying to do everything on our own, that we don't get the things that we are needing. So, and what do they say? If you Southern, you done heard this phrase, a closed mouth don't get fed. Okay? So, you're going to have to be vulnerable at some points. That is terrifying to me each and every time I hear that. But it's been a necessity for me. So, I'm encouraging y'all. I'm telling y'all, look, we on this walk together. So, I'm encouraging y'all, okay? And myself at the same time. So, y'all, that's it. That's what I wanted to share. Do not, I understand why there was something that says do not forsake the assembly now, because obviously that is important. So y'all, where was I at? Because my dad was here installing some stuff, and honey, I got interrupted. But I think I was just wrapping it up. Y'all, thank y'all so much for watching. I appreciate y'all so, so, so much, and I hope that helps somebody. Y'all, listen, my walk with God has been a journey, and it's been one that I feel like I am supposed to share with you all. So I appreciate y'all so much for joining me. on the walk.